Hi guys and welcome. These are your handover videos for your 2010 Swift Challenger 480. This is essentially a basic startup guide for when you're hooking up and when you first get to site. Starting off, you've got your hitch head just here with black lever. To get it onto the tow bar, you have to pull up that black lever and wind it down on the jockey wheel. Once it's on, that black lever will shoot down. This red button will come up, exposing a green ring. You have a breakaway cable just here. If you have an eye point for your breakaway cable, it legally has to be used. If not, just put it around the tow bar itself. You've got your handbrake just here, your jockey wheel there, and then you do have 13-pin electric. So if your car does have 7-pin adaptation, make sure you bring yourself an adapter on collection day. We're using our test equipment today here, so you can see I've got a red propane bottle with a propane pigtail leading onto a gas hose. Gas hose connects onto this regulator inside here. Now, I'd recommend propane use, but you can use butane. You just have to get the respective gas hose for that. Once both sides are firmly connected, twist your bottle in the positive or open direction, and that will begin to feed gas through into the caravan. 2 points either side and 2 points at the back, you have your inserts for your legs. Now, this one is built in with the security feature in which you have to add a little thing on the end to be able to wind it down, which does come with the caravan. But what you have to do is level the caravan first using the jockey wheel, then put down all 4 corner steadies. Do not attempt to jack up or level the caravan using the legs. Making our way through this side, starting off first, you've got your water pump. So this is where the water pump will connect into. I'm not running any water through today as the caravan's just being drained off. All you have to do, I'll show you the pump inside as well, is just slot it in and then make sure that the strainer at the other end sits at the bottom of the yak roll full of clean drinking water. Then just next to it you have your flue. The flue is this plastic covering that goes over the top. When the caravan's in use, take off the plastic covering, as this is to get clean air in and out of the boiler. So when travelling, slot that cap over the top and put it into place. When in use, just simply take it off. Then just next to it, we have your battery locker. So you have your insert for your mains just here, with also your ignition point for your motor movers. And just there is where the battery would sit. This one doesn't have a battery fitted. Now, this caravan does have a mover fitted. I will show you how the mover works on the day. Then just here, you've got 2 inserts for your wastewater. You need some 28.5mm waste pipe to feed into there, which you then feed into a waste master that you can then empty on site. Then here we have your toilet capacity. This top one is for the flush tank. Get yourself a watering can to feed the water into here. It can hold 12 litres, but just put in around 10 as you don't want to overfill it. And you can also add a little bit of what's called pink chemical, which works as a bleach without being corrosive and just makes it smell a bit nicer. And then below you have your cassette toilet. Later on in the video, I'll show you when you need to empty the cassette toilet. But when you come to empty it, you press on this orange handle and pull out just like so. And try not to absolutely break the gaff. Make sure that's slotted in correctly. Now you can see this does extend out into a little bit of a suitcase. And to put it back, you just press in and slide it in. Bit awkward to do with one hand, so 2 seconds. And you can see now, orange handle sat where it's supposed to be. Has to be in that position when you put it back. When you get to your emptying point on site, twist this head to the side, open up that cap just there. You need to tilt, and at the same time as tilting, continually press in that vent button. Once you've done that, slide this open just here, slide that open there, swill into fresh water, give it a little bit of a shake, and again, tilt and vent. And then coming back to this cap here, you have measurements in both imperial and metric, other way around, but either way, and that is for your blue chemical. Blue chemical goes inside of this cap, back onto here, twist it back to the side, and you have to push this in so that that orange head sits behind those white teeth. Now you don't want to travel with either of these two full, so just up above here, which I removed there, is the release for the flush tank. Open that up and drain it off. Then underneath the right hand side lounge, we have all of this. This grey box at the back, that is your boiler. This blue box here is your brain box for your mover, and that other box there is the Sargent alarm system. Main thing I want to note though is that yellow switch. That is the drain valve. Vertical position is drain position, horizontal position is allowing water to actually flow through. So we're going to leave the caravan with you around. Then underneath the right hand side bed we have all of this. So starting off first, that grey compartment there, that is your boiler. You've got this blue box, which is your brain box for your motor mover, and then that other box is the alarm system. Then you have that yellow switch. That's your drain valve. When the drain valve's in the open position like it is now, vertically, that's draining off any water. Put it horizontally, allows the flow of water to come through. November to March, if you're not using the caravan, have that up permanently, and just drain off the caravan anytime you leave site. Just makes it a lot easier on the boiler. Now, if it is a case that you forget, there is the potential of the pipes freezing over and bursting, so make sure you do drain it off. When you leave with us today, or whenever it is, it's not today, but whenever it is, we will have left it in the vertical position. Then you have this silver box just here. If I pull this down, you can see it's all your fuses and your trips. You can also see at the top that it says charger, space heater, water heater, and they're all lit, meaning that they're all working. Then you have a system shutdown button just next to it. Pressing that button, nothing inside the caravan works. If you do need to replace a fuse or sort something out with that, you have a little bit more information on this drawer just here. Then above the door we have this, which is your main control panel. Pressing that power button on and off, and that is essentially the start-up button. You can see at the top it says mains are coming into the caravan itself. If you were plugged into the car, it would have a light come up over the top of that. Battery select, press that in, it will show you the level, same as pressing in there. Just shows you the level of either the leisure battery or the vehicle battery, whatever you're plugged into. Then just here you've got your water pump button, so I'm just going to press it in briefly to show you that a light comes on. But what you would do is come over to your sink once you're all plugged in, drain valve in the correct position, water pump in, you'd open up on hot and cold, or start off cold, then open up on hot, and let it run for about 30 seconds. And what you're looking for is a nice steady continuous stream. If you're not getting a steady continuous stream, go outside and check this, which is your water pump. So water pump connects outside by just pressing in, and you just press in the trigger to remove it. Without pressing in the trigger, it can't be pulled out. Then you have this plastic cap that goes over the top of the ack roll to make sure no nastiness gets inside. Then at the bottom you have your strainer. Now it's very important that the strainer sits at the bottom of the barrel, as otherwise it will just come through with gasps of air and it will just wreck the boiler. Now you can see that they do have a bit of a tendency to curl up. So you've got a few choices. You can either straighten it out every time before use, but then it may curl back up again. Or what I'd recommend is get some PVC tubing or hose pipe or something like that, something that's nice and straight, and put it around the bottom of it and just like cable tie it or zip tie it, just so it's nice and straight continually. But in summary, power button, water pump, and viewing your levels. Then just here, we've got your fridge operation. Turn this on, press this button in here. We'll flash up, show you all the icons, and go to its most recent memory, which in this case was mains on full capacity. To change your source, you press in on this button, press in once, press in again, you go to vehicle battery. Now it's coming up with the repair symbol there because obviously you're not connected to the car, so it will come up with that when there's a hazard. Then press again and go over to gas. Now for gas, you'll hear it gradually begin to tick in and then it will light. Once it's lit, it will stay lit. It's not like a physical flame that you can see or anything like that. It's on the outside next to the vents. Now just going to switch it back over to mains. Then to change the amount coming in, you press 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. 5 being the strongest, so it's going to chill it the quickest. Takes around 4 hours for this to fully chill. Then to turn this off, just press and hold on this button here, and it will turn itself off. Then for your heating system, next to the door here, we've got this. So this first is Ultra Heat, so that is your heating. Ultra Store is your water. So first up, heating. You've got some numbers on the side, 2,500 and 100. That is your wattage. Now, dependent on your site, will depend on the amount that you can go to. We operate at around about 12 amps, so we can go to 1,000. Now, when you see that I've chose 1,000, it will then light up green. You then have a thermostat in the middle, which you change to your desired temperature. And then you come down to here. So this is your blown air operator. And this side is for your electric version. So you can either, the top dial chooses the fan speed, so 5 being the quickest. You can either have it on manual or automatic. So you can hear that kick in there, or automatic. Automatic will adjust itself automatically, and manual, it's just a continuous stream. Turn that off, back to the central. Now, if you want this to operate on gas, then you come over to this side here. What you do is you press in, twist to the side, and then you just choose, again, either manual or automatic. It does take a while to kick in, and then once it's lit, you come over to the spyglass and you'll be able to see the flame nice and lit. And then for the water heat itself, you have Ultra Store here. So you can either run it off gas by flicking it onto gas there and just twisting it to your desired temperature. Starts as low as 13 and goes up to a maximum of 70. And that is only for gas. If you want to use mains, come back over to your box here and press in water heat. Then we've got your cooker system. It's a case of pressing of the dial and twisting it to the side. This one's got an electric plate, so just switch the electric plate to your desired gas mark. All you do, press in, twist to the side at the same time, press in the igniter. This is what it looks like when they're lit. Then you can see nice blue, clean, continuous flames. Flick that off, get to the grill, and there you can see both sides nice and lit. And finally, you've got the oven at the bottom, so let's see if I can do this with one hand. There you go, all nice and lit. Now when you first plug in your gas, I'd recommend coming over to your cooker and just making sure everything ticks in. Only other real thing to note, don't put down this glass sheet until all of these are cold to the touch, and travel with the glass sheet down. Then lastly, you've got your toilet operation, which is box simple. At the top, you've got a flush button, which you press in, and you can hear that motor. That motor is what would push around any water inside your flush tank. At the top here as well, you have an icon for the cassette toilet. When the cassette toilet is full, a red light will come on underneath. Flick open the toilet here, push away that handle, opens up the cassette toilet below, drops off all your waste into the cassette, and then pull it back just so that you can remove it. Simple as that.